Okay, good morning. Today we are going to see about solid solutions. Before entering into that, we should know some basic concepts. So it comes under the subject called as metallurgy. So metallurgy is nothing but a subject that deals with about metals. So see, a pure metal consists of only one type of atom. It is almost impossible practically, because we all know whatever materials we obtain, it contains some impurities or foreign materials are available. See, for example, high purity copper of 99.99% purity is used for electrical wires because of its high electrical conductivity, whereas in certain applications we know that we will be adding some other elements to improve its properties. See, we all know we are all see here, we have given you an example. See, for example, sterling silver is 92.5% of silver and 7.5% of copper alloy is added. Why? Because silver is a soft material, but while adding copper, its strength gets increased. See, we all made gold ornaments, right? So in the gold ornaments, we'll be adding some amount of copper. Why? Because to improve its strength. So basically, it is impossible to get strength from a particular material. So what we'll be doing is we'll be alloying some element to it to improve its properties or to increase the strength of the material, right? So here comes alloy. So what is an alloy? A metal alloy or simply alloy is a mixture of two or more metals. Okay, so the elements which is present in the largest portion is called as base metal, and the other element present are called as alloying element. So whatever major portion is available, that is called as the base element, and the other element is called as alloying element, right? Now comes to the solid solution. So what is the meaning of a solution? So what is the meaning of a solution? A solution can be defined as a homogeneous mixture in which the atoms or molecules of one substance are dispersed at random into another substance. So a solution is nothing but if we add salt in water, that is a solution, where you cannot, it becomes a homogeneous mixture where you cannot separate that salt and water, yes or no? So that is called as a solution. So a solid solution may be defined. Next comes the solid solution. A solid solution may be defined as a solution that consists of two or more elements atomically dispersed into a single phase structure. So we'll be seeing about this solid solution later. Yes, now comes, so a solid solution is composed of two parts. So what are those two parts? One is the solute and the other one is the solvent. So what is a solute? A solute is nothing but a minor part of the solution, whereas a solvent is nothing but the major portion of the solution. In solid solution, we'll be using solid particles, whereas in liquid solution we'll be using a liquid. See, for example, we know the classic example. If we take water and if we add salt to it, yes, so which will be the solute? The salt will be the solute, and which will be the solvent? The major portion is water, so the water will be the solvent, right? So here comes the solid solution versus liquid solution. See, first here they have given you the example for liquid solution. In this liquid solution, what they are mixing? We are mixing water with alcohol. So when you mix water with alcohol, it becomes a homogeneous mixture where you cannot separate again the alcohol from the water, right? So this is an example for liquid solution. And for solid solution, here you are having a nickel and copper. So here you can see the atomic structure, the formation of that one. So here what is happening? The nickel is the major portion of the atom, and copper is the smaller portion of the atom, where you can see that a small amount of copper is added to the nickel atoms, so it is getting occupied in that. So this is an example for solid solution of copper and nickel. Yes, so to obtain the solid solution, it should obey Hume-Ruther's rule. Okay, so what is that? So size factor. The atoms must have almost similar size with less than 15% difference in atomic radius. So that if the size factor is of similar size, then only the solid solution will be forming. And crystal structure. The material must have same crystal structure. Otherwise, there is some point at which the transition occurs from one phase to a second phase with different structure. So see, whenever we are forming a solid solution, it should be of one phase, it should not go to the other phase. So valency, the atom must have same valency, and electronegativity, the atom must have approximately the same electronegativity. If one or more of Hume's rules are violated, only partial solubility is possible. When we are forming a solid solution, it should be a complete solid solution. But see, if any of these rules are getting violated, what will happen? Only a partial solubility is possible. So when you are forming a solid solution, it should obey all the 4 rules of the Hume-Ruther. So please do remember this one. Okay, so here comes the types of solid solution. What are the types of solid solution? One is substitutional solid solution and the other one is an interstitial solid solution. So in the substitutional solid solution is again classified into random type and ordered type. So here you can see a diagram which is given. This is an example for substitutional solid solution. See, in the substitutional solid solution, so which is the major part? Nickel is the major part and copper is the smaller part. So as we discussed, so nickel will be the solvent and copper will be the solute. So see here, the nickel and copper has been arranged like this way. So this is called as substitutional solid solution. So what is happening in a particular, so here it is supposed to be what atom? It is supposed to be nickel atom, but it has been substituted by copper atom. So this is the example for substitutional solid solution, where the nickel atom is being substituted by the copper atom. So this is an example for substitutional solid solution. As we discussed, it should obey the Hume-Ruther rule. So here you can see the atomic radii for copper and nickel are 1.28 Armstrong and 1.25 Armstrong respectively. Both copper and nickel have FCC crystal structure. So both the structure are one and the same. The most common valency are +1 for copper and +2 for nickel. The electronegativity of copper and nickel are 1.9 and 1.8 respectively. Thus copper nickel system forms an extensive substitutional solid solution. The next one is random or disordered substitutional solution. See here, they are not taking place in an orderly manner. This copper, this zinc atom is the minor portion of the solution. Yes or no? They have been occurred in a randomly position. So this is what we called as random substitutional solid solution. The other one is the ordered substitutional solid solution. Here you can see that the solvent, the solute, which is a smaller portion, has been arranged, has taken in a definite pattern. So they are ordered, they are positioned in an orderly manner. So this is what is called as ordered substitutional solid solution. Here they have given you the examples for example copper and nickel. Right? Now comes the interstitial solid solution. In the interstitial solid solution, what is happening? The smaller portion will occupy the spaces wherever available. So this is what we called as interstitial solid solution. Can you see that the space which is available in between your solvent atom, it is taking place, your carbon atom has been placed here. So this is what we called as interstitial solid solution. Yes, so I think you have got a better idea about what is a substitutional solid solution. The substitutional solid solution is again classified into random and orderly type and interstitial solid solution. Thank you.